Okay, here we are on a Zoom call with Trent Meisenheimer and Greg Gagne. And Trent, you wrote the forecast this morning. Can you just tell me a little bit about what you were thinking?
Yeah, Mark. So I think it's no mystery right now. We have weak snow all over the map. Pretty much every single slope out there, mid and upper elevations, except due south. I mean, you've got to be on true due south where the sun melted that snow down to the rocks. Um, all other aspects, we have not seen snow since November 14th. So almost 30 days of no snow. Cold temperatures, cold, clear nights, high and dry, shallow snow. We've just driven a temperature gradient through that snowpack, and we have weak faceted snow everywhere.
Yeah, Nick and I saw some of those facets today. I mean, in the places where it was just a little bit shallow, they were striated, starting to look cupped, and just like even more weak than they were 7 days ago.
Yeah, yep, absolutely. Those temperature gradients have been continuing on, even though we got roughly 6 inches of snow just the other day. So since the 12th of December, we've stacked up about a foot of snow and an inch of water. What we've seen since then in the past 5 days is cracking, collapsing. Our stability tests have shown full propagation, and that's with 6 inches of snow. And that snow on top of this weak layer is very soft. It's very fluffy. It's hardly a slab.
Yeah.
This morning, my thinking was we've got increasing southwest winds, warming temperatures, and the possibility of heavy snowfall. All of those combined add up to overloading our very weak and shallow snowpack throughout the range. And that really just equals avalanches.
Yeah. Well, when Nick and I were out today with just an extra inch or two of snow, we were already getting tons of collapsing or cracking, and we triggered a few avalanches. One was on a really low angle slope at a mid elevation location. It was right at 30 degrees, but it definitely surprised me. So I think, Greg, you were out today, and then you're in the hot seat tomorrow doing the forecast. What are you thinking for tomorrow's conditions?
Yeah, so all week long I've been looking at that weak snow buried down about a foot, 6 to 12 inches, not much of a slab on top. And we've been seeing it becoming increasingly reactive this week. Today, there were 5 human-triggered avalanches that were reported. Many of them were remotely triggered. So as somebody is even just approaching the slope, they get a collapse and it propagates. There were some large ones that ran 300, 400 vertical feet. So the weak snowpack is quickly showing its hand with just not much of a load. And as Trent was just saying a moment ago, over the last week, we've been getting nickeled and dimed with these small little storms. It's been about a foot of snow, an inch of water. And then in a 12 to 18 hour period, we're basically going to be doubling that. The winds were really blowing this morning. I was getting cracking, collapsing. It's currently snowing pretty heavily right now in the cottonwoods. The winds have subsided, which is good, but we're rapidly overloading these weak layers. So I don't see how we don't transition to a high danger for tomorrow. I definitely would be avoiding avalanche terrain tomorrow. And just that is slopes 30 degrees or steeper, staying off of and out from underneath. I'm staying far away from avalanche terrain right now.
And it looks like right now, just looking at weather stations, we're getting that same heavy snowfall down in the Provo area mountains and even in the Ogden area mountains.
Yeah.
And we found plenty of weak snow in those areas as well.
Yeah, plenty of weak snow, both north and south of Salt Lake. So we've been watching this season, and we've just been kind of waiting for this event, and here it is.
Yeah. So just to recap, Trent, you're saying like in the last week or so, we've had foot of snow, maybe 6 to 12 inches. And now, Greg, you're saying basically tonight, we're going to get the same amount of snow that we've gotten over a week's period in one night.
Yeah, exactly. So we're rapidly overloading that weak layer of snow, and it's going to be quite reactive. I wouldn't be surprised if there's natural avalanches going on this evening.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And like I wrote in the forecast this morning, really it's the things that increase avalanche danger or hazard is wind, right? The wind can change the landscape. It can load slopes. So the wind is always important to watch. snowfall, and not just inches of snow, but how much water or weight is in that snow. That's also going to affect our weak layers. And then the final thing is how fast is that snow stacking up, right? What is that rate? And like I wrote in the forecast this morning, this storm has all three of those. We had the wind, we're getting water, and the PI, or the precipitation intensity, is increasing. We're seeing 1 to 2 inches per hour. That's going to lead to that natural avalanches probably going off right now in the mountains. So definitely this is something to keep an eye on.
Yeah. Okay. and we had an avalanche watch today, which means for tomorrow we're expecting conditions to rise to an avalanche warning. Greg, does it look like things are lining up for that to come true?
Seems that way, yeah. If forecasted snow and water amounts are realized, I don't see how we don't avoid going into an avalanche warning. Yeah, which just evidence of dangerous avalanche conditions. Yeah. You get into if these forecasted snow and water amounts happen, if you get into avalanche terrain tomorrow, you're going to trigger avalanches.
There we go. Enough said. All right. Well, I hope everyone can stay safe. Thanks you guys for tuning in tonight, and we'll see what happens with snowfall. Thanks.
Thank you.
Stay tuned.